Ja, die Passwort lässt es gar nicht.
Maybe you should probably have to my phone was down to
Just wondering,
here to our dear friends that came, family that came, and for us to finally honor Nos as a family. You know, as my husband, your son, brother, uncle, an incredible person, friends to you guys. So we just really felt, I really felt like we had a memorial in America with a lot of people, and it was sort of the traditional, you know, thing. And it was beautiful, and it was wonderful. But this is his family in South Africa. And it just seems so important that we take a moment and not just let him die and we all move on with our lives, and not even honor him and talk as a family about our love for him. So when I was studying last semester, one of my friends told me about a Jewish tradition called sitting Shiva. And basically, sitting Shiva lasts for 7 days after the death of a loved one. And the word Shiva comes from the word Sheva, which means 7, which signifies 7 days of mourning. And its primary purpose is to bring the family and close friends together to provide a time for spiritual and emotional healing. And so rather than mourning alone and grieving in private, or not grieving, or not thinking about it, dare not cry, instead of that, all separated from one another, in this tradition, the family stays home for 7 days to focus on their grief and to remember their loved one, and to share stories, and to laugh, and to cry, and to eat, and really to support each other. And I thought, wow, what an incredible tradition. I mean, they know how to do it, because so many of us Western Christians, we can be very stoic, and we can do it all alone, you know? And so our heart, you know, when I spoke to Debbie about this, and I spoke to Jacques about this, it was like, let's come together and let's sort of have one day of sitting Shiva together, you know, where we just are together in this, just for a little while. Shiva ends on the 7th day, and so at the conclusion of it, the mourners all take a walk together to symbolize moving forward. And so at the end of today, we're going to take a little walk, those of you that can stay, and we're going to walk to a place near their home, and we're going to plant a tree, and we're going to put some of Nos's ashes in the base of the tree, and we're going to grow a tree, one of his favorite trees, and we bought it, and we're going to do that, and that's going to be kind of how we wrap up the day. So thanks for being here, guys. Here's how we're going to kind of go. First of all, this is not a presentation, and this is not formal. We're just here together, so everyone can take a deep breath and just be here, you know, just let it out. I'm just going to start by reading a short poem Nos wrote just 2 weeks before he died. And I'm going to read that to you guys. And then I'm just going to read you one more thing that I found yesterday that he wrote. And I thought I would share it with you guys. And then we'll just open it up for people to share whatever's on their heart. And we'll go from there. So let me just get this poem. So he wrote it. Some of you might have seen it. I don't know if he sent it to any of you, but it was called Beauty in Death. And Nos struggled so much with not wanting to leave us, did not want to die. And so he spent a lot of time having to come to peace with it and having to finally, accept it, really. And so on April 3rd, he died on April 23rd, he wrote, "My eyes have been opened to seeing the beauty in being the autumn leaf, who cannot stay green for as long as I thought I would. The green leaf, me, has become the red and yellow autumn leaf that is busy detaching from the branch I was attached to and being fed from. Soon, I, too, will fall to the ground and feed the tree on which my spot has been replaced with the blossoms, my beloved children, who will go from beautiful blossoms to becoming strong green leaves. They too have entered the cycle of life, where they will go from baby blossoms to green sturdy leaves to autumn leaves, who eventually let go and die and feed the same tree of life that in turn feeds new blossoms, their children." So to think he wrote that just, 2 weeks later is, and I just thought that is so Nos, first of all, to write and to express himself, and it's just so meaningful to me. What do you think, Mom? You like it? Then, I don't know how many of you all know, but he really, really tried very hard to come to South Africa before he died. And so he was applying to the Dream Foundation, and boy, did he put a lot of things in place to try to get them to approve his petition to come back to South Africa. And I came across what he wrote to them just yesterday, and that he had to tell them what his dream was. And so he wrote, "My dream is to be able to fly back to South Africa with my wife, to say goodbye to my mom, my siblings, and a few closest friends before I die. While I have been battling cancer, my mom, who is 86, learned that her cancer has come back as well. It has been really hard on her emotionally over the last year, knowing that I will be dying soon. To make matters even worse, we learned 2 weeks ago that my sister has been diagnosed with neuroendocrine cancer. Being able to see them again, hug and kiss them, and simply spend time talking to one another in person will fill all of us with so much joy and peace during this tragic time in our family's life. My last dream is to be able to give my mom and siblings the gift of saying goodbye in person. This dream is important to me because of how much it will help them in their grief. It will give me the peace I need when the time comes to transition into hospice care. So my dream is to be able to travel to Johannesburg, South Africa, to say goodbye to my family, and especially to my mom." So I just was like, wow, we loved you guys very, very much. The last thing that I'm going to share is what I wrote on the plane, not knowing about what I just read right now. And I wrote this on the plane as I was carrying his ashes. And I wrote, "Nos, I am flying you home. I am taking you on the trip that you so wanted to take. I am your eyes for this one. I am seeing your family for you. I will feel their hugs and kisses for you. I will hear their voices, their laughter, Ian's corny jokes. We will cook together in the kitchen. I will do the things you would have loved to do. Drink tea, eat waffle pudding, visit our old neighborhood, listen to the birds in the morning, watch the sun set in the evening, smell the African air. I will do it for you, my love. And somehow it will be our trip together one more time, together. So, those are my things to share. He would have loved that we're doing this right now. He would love that some of us actually cry. And he would love for us to laugh and to remember great times together. And so, if anybody has anything they would like to share, a memory, a feeling, there's no perfect way to do this, you know.
But before we move on,
Yes.
I just want to play this song that Camille wrote to her dad.
Did you have it ready? So let me explain the song then. She actually, the last time Camille spoke to Nos was about 3 days before he died, and he called her, and I was right there. He was in the hospital when I had come home, and he called Camille, and she put it on speaker. Hi, Daddy, and he's like really intense, and he's like, Camille, he's like, enough of this doubting yourself. He was like really intense. Enough of this wondering if you should pursue your music. This is what you love. This is your gift. And that's it, kind of a thing. Like, and I can't remember, but she was like, she said, you sound like you're mad at me, Dad. You know? And so he just, it's like he had to call her specifically to tell her that's what he wanted. And so for her, because she had really been wrestling. And so she has. So she's, for the last year, she's done nothing but go after her music. And it's been quite an interesting experience, and she's really starting to come together. It's going to take a long time. Being a musician is no easy thing. She wrote this song the week he died, but we didn't know it was the week he was going to die. We thought we still had, believe it or not, more time. And so this was a song she had written about whimsy and being the whimsy of someone's life, and that Nos was the whimsy of my life, and bringing that into relationships. And so she didn't actually write it, she wrote it about that. And then she sent it to her dad, like she always did, to listen to in the hospital, but he then lost consciousness and he never actually heard it. And so she sang this at his funeral, and it's not the full version, but it's a version. She's actually working it to have a lot more music instruments and stuff, but this is it. It's called Whimsy. And she plays all of it. She does all those writing, the music. It's all Camille.
Once captured by the veil, stitched to my eyelids, torn apart by last wind, lifting up the sea. Drifted out, you found it, answers to your haunted delusions of my children, lost in their daydreams. When I see the moment, I don't think to leave. The spirit of the night will show as we sleep. Call it the whimsy of my life, the whimsy of my life. I'm the whimsy of your life, and thou art the sky forever and ever. You won't forget my soft spin, how it made you see. Angels past the screen door, visions you could not It's the whimsy of this life, the whimsy of this life. I'm the whimsy of your life, and I'll walk your sky forever and ever. Beautiful. Is that good? Such a beautiful. Just like now, it's good to see so beautiful. Huh?
You had such a beautiful voice.
Such a beautiful voice.
I'd just like to play, Johan just sent just a quick message.
Dear family, I wish I could be there with you today as you remember Nas. I just want to tell you from my heart that the death of Nas has left a deep silence, contrasting someone who was bigger than life. I miss him very deeply. I mourn with you all today, and I'm so glad we can be together today and have Heather share the remains of Nas. I will be in prayer for all of you.
And I also received a message from Tredoux. I haven't listened to it, so I'm not sure what is Tredoux is Nas's best friend. And anyway, he wanted to be here today, but he couldn't make it. So I'm not sure what he's going to say. I'm just going to play.
Hi Heather, Jacques, Ian and family, this is Fourways. Just wanted to say I'm so thinking of you this morning, and I wish I could be there with you to celebrate Nas's life. And but I'm sending you all so much love, and I know you're going to have a really, really special time this afternoon. Yeah, wow, send photos please, and video that you guys take. Like I said, I'm there in my thoughts and in spirit. Have a beautiful time. Just an amazing time. John and I and the kids are at a nursery real quick, so we're almost in nature. And I'm remembering my friend with so much love and all the amazing memories. Love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, as the eldest brother, we have a lot of other memories. And my first thought was when he was born. I can still remember that day. Early that morning on the 1st of January 1970. Mom went to the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. And Jock and Debbie thought that it was
The rapture.
The rapture. Everyone was gone. There was no and then my dad went to Buffalo School again. Stood there.
You're so sensitive. Sorry, just piped up what you were trying to say. It's like, let's go on. So sorry. Sorry, Franz.
Yeah, well, I'll try to speak. You know, I'm not really
You're doing great. Don't make say that.
I'm not going to compare myself with Nas and Johan, that's good speakers, but yes, I'm just going to speak from my heart. But yes, that was the day that I remember. And then I remember that Mom was sick at that time, and I had to help her, feeding him, washing. He slept with me for a long time. So he was, from a baby boy, very close to me. And he was a very stubborn boy. I remember the days that if he don't get his way, he would hit his head against the wall. And those was the days, and then they moved to Clarksville. Johan and myself had to stay behind in Rustenburg. So yes, that was in Rustenburg, if you don't know, where he was born. And so we had to stay because we had to finish school at the end of the year before we could move to Clarksville. And then I remember Nas was still small there, it was a big garden there, and he was always fiddling with a lot of stuff. And I remember one time when I spoke to Mom, she said, Nas nearly hurt himself at because there was a borehole pump and he opened the lid and something and your hands went in somewhere there. So he was a busy boy. And yeah, then they moved to America to go and study there. When they came back, I went to the army. So a lot of years went by and we lost a lot of contact. So that bond that we built started to break down a little bit. But you know, if I say break down a little bit, not that closest that you always experienced. And then Jock and Debbie had that expand that they bond with him because they went through a lot of things. But if I just look at Nasi's life, he was always there for a challenge. Competition was always there. He wanted to, if you go fishing, he wants to catch the biggest fish. He always wanted to win, you know. And I remember when he was so sick in Pietermaritzburg with that malaria. Yes, I was able to organize to go down with someone that had an aeroplane, a small aeroplane, go down because I had to be there in a few hours. And I think just to be there for him at that moment just picked up his spirit again. And I was actually the only one that could give first-hand feedback to the family, how he was doing. And then all of a sudden it just turned and he healed and he was strong and up and going again.
He nearly died, didn't
Yeah.
But he nearly died there. It was black fever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And the malaria went to the ground.
yeah, we forget about all of those things. And yeah, then us went through school, we went to university. I remember that, and I can remember that we went to, what's it, RIE, yes, to go and listen to him where he was in the choir singing, and that was a good experience. And for me, this week, after I just played that video again where and I think Jordy put that on sometime. You know, he was really gifted to be a good speaker. You know, I'm really, that's just a little bit from my side that I can just capture from my experience. When there's a lot of more things, but now what's coming to my mind now.
You said you got a letter recently?
Yes, 2 letters. Actually 3. So this letters is, just see the dates on this thing, 1975.
He wrote you a letter when he was 5 years old?
No, this is a family, but he did try to write something to us as well.
Okay.
So let me just see what is on here. So there was Nas' first letter to me.
So we sent it around.
I think that was the first, I'm not sure.
I haven't seen this Franz, and I would love to read what he wrote. Is it all right?
Well, it's mommy's and papa's letters and yours. There he tried to write his own name.
Just send it around. Yeah,
So just tell them that's where they need to be. Like I said, no. We say no. This is trying to write his name. And really, what did he say there?
I am 6 and we had a television.
So
cute. He was so excited about
So
that.
nasty.
Wow.
What's a nasty?
It's right there.
Well, it does look like green.
Okay, so here we just tell him he also tried to write his name. We count up to.
And that's from you, I think, John.
Tell him.
I haven't seen these letters.
Okay, we will look at it more.
It was sent to me and yours.
And we'll read them properly. We're just looking at Nas.
Yeah, we can read them later.
I wonder what he tried to say here. I would.
But there is explanation.
Oh, okay.
Right in the middle of what someone else
It
is
is.
writing. Ignatius.
Oh, this is him writing. He's trying to write his name.
Because that's all that
He
matters.
also
That's all that
tried, he also tried, it says, I wrote there that he tried to count up to 11 already, yeah.
On that one.
Just explain that one to her John
Nas
as well.
is kindergarten, English. I feel that feeling.
Yes, translator.
Yeah, no, dear, it's just he's trying to write. He's trying to. You said 11. I'll just pass them on.
And the other one was a little bit.
That's so cool,
So
Francois.
amazing that
How
he
wonderful.
I didn't know you kept these letters.
Well, I still have my school suitcase with everything in. I brought it with all the letters, even my love letters.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That is so amazing. Sure.
So that's why they say I'm awarded, but sometimes you need to be awarded to have this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was
Well, these are
46 years
special.
old already, those letters, eh? Oh, it's a long time.
Yeah, it's nearly 50 years.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old.
Oh, shame.